Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. I do a lot of intuitive tarot readings around astrology, around personal growth, etc. But I also, as a former journalist, I dip my toe, occasionally once a week or so in the political realm. And man, oh man, is there a lot to discuss. So today I wanted to get on here briefly with you all and talk about, of course, 45. Lots, it never ends. Let's start with the $399 plastic looking gold metallics. Look like somebody went out in a garage and spray painted some old sneakers. But the crazy thing is, if we are to believe what we're told, they were going for it was a limited edition. So I think they said a thousand pairs were available, sold out supposedly within 1 hour, $399 a pop, right? Really curious to know who did that. I almost feel like it was somebody who bought them in bulk, maybe a Saudi or something. There's somebody who bought them in bulk and then is planning to do something with them down the road. I just find it really hard to believe that even the MAGA faithful, folks who are out here working blue collar jobs, doing their best, their level best to make their Friday night beer money. Like, and I don't mean that in a poo poo way, I mean that in a realistic way. Like, who's out here buying $399 sneakers? Not to mention that I do also find it, and it's been talked about, it was a little offensive because apparently Trump made this announcement about the sneakers, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in Philadelphia. The whole sneakerhead movement is largely an urban culture movement. So the idea, did he, I cannot imagine that he thought that Latinos and blacks and other people of color, certainly not Mexicans, were going to go out and dish out $399 for his sneakers. That can't be the case. But just the whole idea that he aimed it at, these are high top sneakers. You've probably seen them. They're all over the web. But these were sneakers clearly aimed at a more urban culture. And so there's something a little twisted behind that. But that said, let's move on. So we know that the money is mounting up against Trump. We've gotten over the E. Jean Carroll rulings. First, the $5 million verdict, and then after that, on the heels of that, the $83 million verdict. All right. Now, last week we had in the civil fraud case in New York that nice hefty $355 million verdict. Now, he's going to appeal them. We know as well he's got to scramble because in order to appeal, I don't know the exact figures, but there is a certain amount of money that you have to put up to be able to take a case, put a case on appeal. So, and it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap, especially when it goes up higher depending on what the amount of the verdict was. So 355 million, yeah, he's out here scrambling. He gonna need a whole lot more than some $399 sneakers to cover his costs for even to get the case heard in an appeals court and to get that bond money posted. So we'll see. But somehow, some way, we know that will happen. That's fine. I do want to move ahead though and take a look at what we have coming up in March. We have the Stormy Daniels hush money trial coming up in March. It's coming right now. I think it's slated for March 25th. But then over the weekend, I saw an ad on Peacock for guess what else is coming out in March. We have the Stormy. It's called Stormy. It is a Daniels documentary that is slated to debut on March 18, just prior to the 325 hush money trial. Now, if anybody tries to convince me that members of a jury or whomever else are not going to be interested in that Stormy Daniels documentary, I just, come on. I got a Brooklyn Bridge I can sell you, right? But I do want to see I am more interested. Something pinged in spirit said, you know what? Melania is reaching the end of her rope. Because in addition to now this documentary is coming out, we know Stormy's a trigger for her when it came out and before when he was running. So We've got that coming out. We've got the whole reliving the situation with the hush money trial, the actual trial about to occur. And then lo and behold, for your entertainment purposes, and by the way, this is for entertainment purposes, always got to say that. We have, I understand, in on off Broadway in New York, Melania's Playground, right? You know, she stays undercover there, but we know she's not hanging out in Mar-a-Lago with Trump any more than is absolutely necessary. You know, it's been pretty well known that she hangs out. New York is her spot, and she's got her little enclave there. Well, on off Broadway, there is a new play that has come out, and it is called Five, the parody musical. And it is about, it features Melania, Ivana, Marla Maples, Ivanka, and Stormy, the women of Trump's life. And so I watched a couple of clips of some of the cast members, and they were, of course, saying what they needed to say, which was in this era of hostile politics, they just were seeking to do something funny, lighter, etc. But can you imagine? I would love, I hope that it is released on video. I would love to at least, you know, glance through it and see how those characters were portrayed, because you've got Ivana, Marla Maples, Ivanka. They had to throw Stormy in there. Stormy just will not go away in regards to this, and of course Melania. So I really feel like Melania has got to be reaching the end of her rope. I want to go to Spirit and see if all of this is in fact leading to I want to take a look at Melania. That's really my focus here, and I want to see if this is leading towards a divorce for her, if she's just going to if he is not and there's a lot of, you know, a lot of our powerful psychic friends on this platform have said there's some questions around whether he will even make it as far as the election, given all the strains, the stress, etc. He's not a young man. So, you know, we'll wait to see what happens around that. But I'm just wondering from her perspective, I shuffled, and at the bottom of the deck, I'm using my my deck that many of you like, the United States of Tarot. Hold that up in case anybody's interested in it. It is a fabulous, absolutely fabulous deck. The creator made it. It is, I should say her name and give her credit, Elena Lee McCune. She made this deck, I believe, right after the 2016 election. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous deck. So we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. And we're looking at Melania, specifically at Melania. All of this piling up on her. This man is losing money left and right. We're very clear on, you know, the foundation of that relationship and how it got started and her origins, okay? So, no shade, not judging her. She did what she did. But she's living a very different reality right now with this man. And now with all of these things piling up, the Prince of Wands, I think that's her son. That's Baron. The Seven of Wands. Yeah, she's tried to be, you know, to toe the line and play the loyal mate, even as, you know, she's clearly hung out in the background and said, I'm not saying any more than I need to, but she has played her part. And strength. All right, so yes, she, up until now, she has toed the line. We've watched, you know, from behind the scenes and as far apart and as far out of the spotlight as she could possibly get. But she's toed the line. We have the strength card there. We have the Seven of Wands. Awesome depiction of Nancy Pelosi on there. And then we have the Prince of Wands, who I really do believe is Baron. So she has done this for Baron's sake. Clearly, she's done this for Baron's sake. Because she feels that, you know, I don't know what arrangements they have on paper, but I think there may be something that she just doesn't want she doesn't want to cause, or has not wanted to cause, any more trauma on him and on herself, for that matter, self-preservation. But with this Stormy, the Five of Swords, yeah, she is really reaching. I felt it. She's reaching her maximum capacity. And we have the Nine of Swords. There it is. Yeah, she's done. I'm telling you all, Melania, she is at a breaking point. And the Five of Cups. All right, how much confirmation do we need? We have the Five of Swords, like, what do I even say at this point, right? What do I even say? What words are there in any language? All right, with the Nine of Swords, completely stressed out, completely done, and the Five of Cups. This was just not the way, the way she saw her life playing out. So bottom line, Spirit, is Melania going to wind up in divorce seeking a divorce from Donald Trump behind this? And then I also want to look at the outcome of the hush money trial. Is Melania headed for divorce? We have the Ten of Cups. I wasn't expecting that. I think she's going to hang in there and see how it plays out, at least for the foreseeable future. She's going to retreat further and further as far as she can into the shadows. But that Ten of Cups is a deeply family-oriented card. It is about protecting the family at all costs. And I wonder as well, now with the passing of her mother, I don't know enough about her personal story. I haven't looked into it. I don't know if she has siblings, cousins, aunts, etc. But I do feel that her family, in the wake of her mother's death, Melania's mother's death, that her family has sort of rallied around her, or there has been perhaps an uptick in communications between them, because family is circling their wagons around her at this time. Now, the hush money trial. I'm actually going to pick these up and come in fresh. Spirit, on the hush money end, what is the result of that trial, and will it result in a huge number in the over 300 million? No, it can't do that because it's not even worth that much. But will it add on and tack on to Donald Trump's, in a measurable way, to Donald Trump's financial debacle? How about that for a word? Don't know where that came from. Okay. All right. So the hush money trial, the result, and the financial. Okay. Strength. The Four of Swords. The Four of Cups. Oh, he's gonna be so pissed. The Magician again. The Princess of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Prince of Wands. There's a lot of bit players in this. It's not, in the scheme of all the cases against him, I think this was probably considered one of the most minor, along with, well, no, E. Jean Carroll's case was not considered minor. But... and by minor, I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying in terms of what people expect the outcome and the impact of it to have on him. Of course, it will further diminish his ability to, he's already been banned, for 3 years, he and his sons from heading up the companies in New York. And I got the Hierophant. I don't think this case, for all of its salaciousness, I think he will get a conviction, but I don't think that it's going to, the outcome from it, the financial impact and the outcome, Ace of Swords. I'm getting a confirmation from Spirit on that, right? And look, there's, what was his name? Was that Comey? I can't remember. Yeah. Who was that? Oh, I can't remember his name. Mueller. That's who it is. Mueller. There is going to be a guilty verdict. I don't think that the cost of that, especially in comparison to some of these other verdicts, I don't think that it's going to have that much of a financial impact on him. But I do think that in terms of going back to Melania and the whole dynamic with her, it's taken such a toll on her to have all of this play out yet again in the press, and then Peacock pulls out their little pew pew with the release of the release of the Stormy Daniels documentary, like a week, what is it, a week before the trial on March 18, and the trial's on March 25th. That's going to be deep. Finally, you all, I wanted to just take a quick look. We all have heard at this point. I read on it several weeks ago, just as the story was breaking and before it was confirmed. Spirit said there was some there with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, and sure enough, look what we got. We've seen a lot of people pro and con regarding Fani Willis, and whether or not that the case that was brought against her met the bar to actually have her disqualified. There's some questions around that, whether or not it met the bar, and whether it is in the best interest of the case for her to step aside. And certainly Nathan Wade is toast. Nobody's going to put a hand, have anything to do with that guy for a very long time. And it probably including his dating life, I think is in the toilet. We'll see. Except maybe that woman who clearly, who was the former friend and co-worker who tried to move the timeline back and tried to throw Fani and Nathan under the bus, particularly Fani. So clearly there's some issues between those two women, but it just really felt more personal than anything else. And I think that discredited her as a witness. But anyway, Jack Smith and Fani Willis's cases, the timing, because we're talking, here we are heading into March almost, and elections in November. All right. So, if he's still around, if 45 is still around at that time, and all of this is going forward, I think, okay, we've got the civil fraud trial in the books. We've got the hush money trial coming up. Florida and Cannon, classified documents trial. Don't hold your breath. But Jack Smith really, we contrasting the way he went about it with naming Trump as the single defendant and the unnamed co-defendants versus Fani, who decided to name everybody and their grandmother. There was some talk about, in terms of the timing of being able to get a viable trial, jury, etc., get it through. We really felt like Jack was doing his thing, and then he's just hit one hurdle after another. So I think Spirit is saying clearly, Willis' the Georgia trial, it ain't happening. Not it ain't happening. But in order for it to really get in place, it was already being, we were pushing it to get all of those cases, defendants, etc., motions filed and trial ready by August. So we knew that was going to be cutting it close to November. Now with all of this, I don't think so. We all know that what happened. The state's case is not going to go away. Georgia's case is not going to go away. But we'll see. Even if he, God forbid, I don't even want to let those words out of my mouth, so I won't. If the worst case scenario happened in November, from what I understand, that doesn't stop a state from pursuing its case. So Georgia's going to happen, but I just don't think it's going to happen in time. I don't see it in 2024. You all let me know what you think. Jack Smith, I'm concerned about that. Spirit, will Jack Smith's trial get going by summer? Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor. Maybe so, you all. Maybe so. I like it. King of Wands. That's Jack. Yeah, he knows. And the Hermit. September? Late August, September? Okay, I'm going to come down. Yeah, Spirit is saying yes. I got that Hermit, and I feel in a timing element, the Hermit represents Virgo, but it also represents that day in and day out, that tenacity of Jack Smith. I feel he's coming in here as the King of Wands for me, and the Emperor feels like all of the, this is who. I mean, he's even depicted in this image. So this is the trial proceeding against him. Jack Smith is that Hermit. Bernie Sanders, beautiful depiction on that card. But he's going forward. He is just tackling it with Virgo energy. It is meticulous. It is day in and day out. It doesn't let up. It's keep your eyes on the prize. That light ahead. We know where we're going. We know what we've got. We're going to make it happen. And I think that is going to happen this year. It just, there are some delays, but I'm right now, the way it's looking, Spirit is saying maybe around August, sometime in the summer. Late summer, maybe towards Virgo season, but Jack's got this. It's not going. This is going to happen. All right. Immunity issues notwithstanding, it's going to happen. All right. All right, you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you're doing really well. Take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. And I'll talk to you real soon.